What if I told you there's a hidden threat, ancient, unrelenting, and waiting for the right moment to emerge? Imagine tribes so numerous that their sheer numbers could darken the skies and overwhelm the earth. These are not mere legends or folklore. Their story has been told for centuries, woven into the fabric of history, religious texts, and prophecies. They are Yajooj and Majooj, Gog and Magog, in English, two colossal tribes imprisoned behind an impenetrable barrier. But the most chilling part of their story is this: they are destined to break free, and when they do, chaos and destruction will follow. The story of Yajooj and Majooj has been mentioned in the Holy Quran, Hadiths, and even ancient biblical texts. Their imprisonment is attributed to a great king, Dhul, Qarnayn, who used iron and molten copper to construct a massive wall to contain their terror. This event is narrated in Surah Al-Kahf 18:93-98, where the people of a distant land pleaded with Dhul, Qarnayn, to protect them from the corruption and destruction caused by these tribes. Yet despite this seemingly impenetrable barrier, the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, foretold a time when this wall would give way. In Sahih al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim, it is narrated that every day Yajooj and Majooj dig through the barrier, but they fail to break it because they forget to say, Inshallah, if Allah wills. Until one day they will remember and the wall will crumble. Their release marks a catastrophic turning point near the end times. Allah mentions in the Quran, but when Yajooj and Majooj are let loose and they rush headlong down every hill. Surah Al-Anbiya 21:97. Can you imagine the terror of that day? Water sources will dry up as they drink entire rivers and lakes. Humanity will retreat to fortified fortresses, unable to stand against their sheer might and destructive force. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, described their appearance as distinct, with faces resembling hammered shields, small eyes, and red complexions. Their sheer numbers are incomprehensible, with each leaving behind thousands of offspring before they die. And their story doesn't end there. How will they be stopped? What does their rise signify for humanity? Are they human or something far more sinister? The answers lie in ancient scriptures, prophecies, and historical accounts. Brace yourself as we uncover their origins, their current state, and what their eventual freedom means for the future of the world. Let's dive into the full story of Yajooj and Majooj, Gog and Magog, and the ominous prophecies surrounding them. Who are Yajooj and Majooj? Yajooj and Majooj, known in English as Gog and Magog, are two massive tribes deeply rooted in the narratives of multiple religious traditions. Their story is not just a single tale, but a complex and interconnected narrative found in the Quran, Hadiths, and even biblical texts. But who are they, really? What sets them apart from any other group of people in history? Origins and identity. The Quran identifies Yajooj and Majooj as descendants of Adam, as affirming their humanity. In the words of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, as narrated in Sahih al-Bukhari, Yajooj and Majooj are sons of Adam. If they were allowed to come out, they would cause mischief and ruin people's lives. Their humanity, however, doesn't diminish the fear they invoke. These tribes are characterized by their immense numbers, their destructive nature, and their insatiable appetite for chaos. The Prophet further elaborates that they will multiply to an unimaginable extent. Not one of them will die before leaving behind 1,000 or more of his offspring. This implies that their numbers are not only vast, but also growing, creating a force so overwhelming that it would dwarf the global population. Physical characteristics, descriptions of Yajooj and Majooj highlight their distinct and fearsome appearances. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, provided vivid imagery in a hadith recorded in Sunan ibn Majah. They are people with small eyes, red complexions, and faces like hammered shields. Their appearance, combined with their aggressive behavior, makes them a terrifying force. Some scholars interpret these physical traits as symbolic, reflecting their hostile nature and unyielding determination. Historical mentions, the origins of Yajooj and Majooj, are also mentioned in the Bible, particularly in the book of Ezekiel and the book of Revelation. Gog and Magog are portrayed as nations that will rise against the people of God in a climactic battle before the day of judgment. In Islamic tradition, their story is more detailed and focuses on their imprisonment. Dhul, Qarnayn, a great and righteous king mentioned in Surah Al-Kahf 18:93-98, built a barrier to contain them. When he traveled to a distant land between two mountains, he encountered a people who could hardly understand his language. They pleaded with him to help them against Yajooj and Majooj, who were spreading corruption on the earth. Dhul, Qarnayn agreed and constructed a massive iron wall fortified with molten copper, trapping the tribes behind it. Allah describes this event in the Quran. The Yajooj and Majooj were made powerless to scale it or dig through it. Surah Al-Kahf 18:97. Why are they imprisoned? Yajooj and Majooj were sealed behind the wall to protect humanity from their destructive tendencies. Their corruption is not limited to one aspect of life. It affects everything: land, water, and people. They are described as consuming everything in their path, leaving devastation behind. According to Sahih Muslim, the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, explained that Yajooj and Majooj dig through their barrier daily, but fail to break free because they forget to say, Insha'Allah, if Allah wills. This emphasizes that their release will occur only by divine will, marking a significant event in the end times. Symbolism and interpretation. Some scholars suggest that Yajooj and Majooj represent more than just physical tribes. They symbolize unrestrained human greed, corruption, and chaos. Their story serves as a reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and the need for divine intervention to maintain order in the world. Modern speculations: where are Yajooj and Majooj today? This remains one of the most debated aspects of their story. Some believe they are imprisoned in a remote, uncharted region like Siberia, the Himalayas, or the Caucasus Mountains, modern-day Azerbaijan, Armenia, and Georgia. Others propose that their existence is hidden by divine will, making them invisible to human discovery until the appointed time. Their exact location is not specified in the Quran or Hadith, leaving it a mystery. However, their eventual release is a certainty, as prophesied in the Quran, until when Yajooj and Majooj are let loose from their barrier, and they swoop down from every mound. Surah Al-Anbiya 21:96. The bigger picture, the story of Yajooj and Majooj isn't just about their physical release. It's a warning of the trials and tribulations humanity will face near the end of times. Their existence challenges us to reflect on fragility of human civilization and the need to prepare for the ultimate day of judgment. In summary, Yajooj and Majooj are not just names from ancient texts. They are a reminder of the power of divine will and the inevitability of the end times. Their story continues to captivate and warn, urging us to reflect on our actions and the world we are shaping. Where are Yajooj and Majooj now? Location of Yajooj and Majooj has been a subject of mystery and intrigue for centuries. Despite the advancements in exploration and technology, their exact whereabouts remain unknown. hidden behind a divine barrier constructed to protect humanity from their destructive force. Let's explore what Islamic teachings, historical references, and scholarly opinions reveal about this enigmatic aspect of Yajooj and Majooj. The divine barrier built by Dhul, Qarnayn. The Quran provides the most authoritative account of where Yajooj and Majooj are imprisoned. In Surah Al-Kahf, the story of Dhul, Qarnayn, recounts his encounter with a people who were plagued by the terror of Yajooj and Majooj, until, when he reached a pass between two mountains, he found before them a people who could scarcely understand a word. They said, "O Dhul, Qarnayn, indeed Gog and Magog are great corruptors in the land. So may we assign for you an expenditure that you might make between us and them a barrier." Surah Al-Kahf 18:93-94. In response, Dhul, Qarnayn used iron and molten copper to construct a barrier that was impenetrable. So they, Gog and Magog, were unable to scale it, nor were they able to penetrate it. Surah Al-Kahf 18:97. This wall has successfully contained them for millennia, preventing their escape and sparing humanity from their chaos until the appointed time. Theories about their location. While the Quran and Hadith do not specify the exact geographical location of this barrier, various scholars and researchers have speculated on its whereabouts. Some of the most notable theories include Siberian mountains. Some believe that Yajooj and Majooj are imprisoned in the remote regions of Siberia. The vast, frozen wilderness, with its uninhabited areas and rugged mountain ranges, aligns with the idea of an isolated location, shielded from human discovery. Caucasus region, Azerbaijan, Armenia, Georgia. Another popular theory places the barrier in the Caucasus Mountains, particularly near the region historically known as the Gates of Alexander. This area was thought to have been fortified by Alexander the Great, who is sometimes equated with Dhul, Qarnayn in Islamic tradition. Himalayan ranges. The Himalayas, with their towering peaks and hidden valleys, have also been suggested as a possible location. The region's inaccessibility and mysterious aura make it a compelling candidate. Underground or hidden realm. Some scholars propose that the barrier might not be a physical wall visible to the naked eye, but rather a divinely hidden structure, possibly underground or in an alternate dimension. This interpretation emphasizes the supernatural element of their concealment, as mentioned in the Quran. Why are they hidden? The concealment of Yajooj and Majooj is not merely physical but also divine. Allah has willed that their location remains undiscovered, as their emergence is tied to the timeline of the end times. Their imprisonment serves as a test and a mercy, shielding humanity from their havoc until the decreed moment. The Quran underscores this divine control in Surah Al-Anbiya. But when Yajooj and Majooj are let loose, and they rush headlong down every hill, Surah Al-Anbiya 21:96, the phrase "when they are let loose" signifies that their release will occur only by Allah's command, independent of human actions. Can modern technology locate them? In today's world, with advanced satellite imaging and global exploration, many wonder why Yajooj and Majooj have not been found. Some scholars argue that their concealment is beyond the scope of human technology. Their barrier could be hidden in a way that defies the laws of physics as we understand them. The supernatural nature of their imprisonment means it may not conform to human logic or scientific methodology. This reinforces the idea that Yajooj and Majooj's location is a part of Allah's divine plan, inaccessible until the appointed time. What do Islamic scholars say? Islamic scholars have varying opinions on this topic. Some emphasize the physical aspects of their location, pointing to geographical features mentioned in historical texts. Others focus on the metaphysical dimension, suggesting that their concealment is a divine mystery meant to keep humanity focused on spiritual preparation rather than speculation. historical accounts, and legends throughout history. Various explorers and writers have referenced a mysterious wall or barrier that aligns with the Quranic description. For example, the Great Wall of China was once thought to be the wall of Dhul, Qarnayn, though most scholars dismiss this theory due to significant differences in the historical timeline and purpose. Medieval travelers like Ibn Battuta and Marco Polo mentioned tales of Gog and Magog in their accounts, often referring to distant, uncharted lands where monstrous tribes were believed to reside. While these accounts add an element of fascination, they are speculative and not definitive evidence. The role of faith ultimately, the exact location of Yajooj and Majooj, is less important than the lessons their story conveys. Their imprisonment serves as a reminder of Allah's mercy and power, as well as the inevitability of the Day of Judgment. Believers are encouraged to reflect on their own faith and actions rather than dwell excessively on the mystery. As we await their eventual release, their story calls upon us to strengthen our connection with Allah and prepare for the trials that lie ahead. What will happen when they escape? Release of Yajooj and Majooj will mark one of the most catastrophic events in human history. Their escape is not just a story, but a prophecy tied to the end times. As described in the Quran and Hadiths, their emergence will unleash chaos, destruction, and unprecedented suffering upon the world. Let's dive deeper into what will unfold when this event occurs. A global catastrophe. The Quran gives a vivid description of the aftermath of their escape. Until when Yajooj and Majooj are let loose from their barrier, and they swoop down from every mound. Surah Al-Anbiya 21:96. This imagery of Yajooj and Majooj pouring down from every hilltop symbolizes their overwhelming numbers and rapid spread across the earth. Their sheer scale and speed will leave humanity unprepared for the devastation they bring. Draining the world's resources, one of the first signs of their rampage will be their consumption of natural resources. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, mentioned in a hadith, they will drink the water of the entire East and Buhaira, Tabria, Lake Tiberias, until it dries up. Sunan Ibn Majah, Lake Tiberias, also known as the Sea of Galilee, a significant freshwater source in the Middle East. The fact that Yajooj and Majooj will consume such a vast body of water highlights their insatiable greed and massive numbers. This act will cause a severe water crisis, devastating local ecosystems and communities. Their consumption won't be limited to water. They will devour crops, livestock, and any food source they encounter, leaving famine and scarcity in their wake. Mass slaughter and destruction. Yajooj and Majooj's actions won't stop at resource consumption. They will embark on a campaign of destruction and violence. As narrated in Sahih Muslim, they will kill anyone who crosses their path, sparing neither the innocent nor the defenseless. This will result in unprecedented loss of life, as they leave behind a trail of destruction. Their arrogance and might will lead them to believe they can conquer the heavens themselves. In a hadith narrated by Imam Ahmad, the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said they will shoot their arrows into the sky, and when the arrows return, they will appear blood-stained, giving them the illusion that they have conquered the heavens. This act symbolizes their defiance of divine authority, further emphasizing their destructive pride. Humanity's desperate struggle, faced with the terror of Yajooj and Majooj, humanity will be left with no choice but to seek refuge. People will fortify themselves in high mountains and strongholds, hoping to escape their wrath. However, even these measures will provide little solace, as their numbers and persistence will make them nearly unstoppable. Divine intervention. When all hope seems lost, Allah's mercy will intervene. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, explained the miraculous way in which Yajooj and Majooj will meet their end. Allah will send worms called Nagafan that will strike the backs of their necks, killing them all instantly. Sahih Muslim, these worms, a manifestation of divine will eliminate the threat of Yajooj and Majooj without human intervention. Their bodies will then decay, causing an unbearable stench to spread across the earth. To purify the land, Allah will send birds with long necks to carry their corpses away, as described in another hadith. Their bodies will fill the earth, and Allah will send birds that will carry them to a place decreed by Him. Afterward, Allah will send rain to cleanse the earth of the foul smell and restore it to its original purity. A test of faith, the emergence of Yajooj and Majooj serves as one of the ultimate tests of faith for humanity. It challenges believers to remain steadfast in their trust in Allah's wisdom and mercy, even in the face of overwhelming adversity. Symbolism in their actions. Many scholars believe that Yajooj and Majooj represent more than physical destruction. They symbolize the dangers of unrestrained greed, the abuse of power, and human arrogance. Their story serves as a cautionary tale about the consequences of straying from the path of righteousness. Lessons for humanity. While their escape is a frightening prospect, it also serves as a powerful reminder of the transient nature of life and the ultimate justice of Allah. The destruction they cause, followed by their sudden and miraculous demise, underscores that no power on earth can challenge the will of Allah. In the end, their story is not just about the chaos they bring, but also about the divine mercy that prevails. It teaches us to prepare for the trials of the end times and to seek refuge in Allah's protection and guidance. How will Yajooj and Majooj be defeated? The defeat of Yajooj and Majooj is one of the most dramatic and awe-inspiring events of the end times. According to Islamic teachings, their release will signal the approach of the final hour, a time of great chaos and destruction. However, their ultimate defeat will come in a way that demonstrates Allah's supreme power and mercy. Let's dive deeper into how these destructive tribes will be vanquished, based on both the Hadith and Quranic sources. The role of Allah's will. Before we delve into the specifics of how Yajooj and Majooj will be defeated, it's essential to remember that their release and defeat are entirely within Allah's control. They will not escape until the appointed time, and their ultimate defeat will happen only by Allah's command, as mentioned in Surah Al-Anbiya 21:96. But when Yajooj and Majooj are let loose, and they rush headlong down every hill, this verse signifies that their release will be timed according to Allah's will, and so too will their defeat. Their existence is a part of Allah's divine plan for the end times, which will unfold as part of the final battle between good and evil. The coming of Isa a.s., the Messiah's role in their defeat in Islamic eschatology, one of the pivotal figures who will play a central role in the defeat of Yajooj and Majooj, is Isa a.s., known as Jesus in Christianity. According to the Hadith, Isa a.s. will return to earth as a sign of the coming of the Day of Judgment. His return will occur after the tribulation, brought about by the release of Yajooj and Majooj, and he will serve as a leader of the believers during this time. Isa's a.s. return is mentioned in numerous hadiths, one of which states, "By him, in whose hand is my soul, surely the son of Maryam, Jesus, will shortly descend among you as a just ruler. He will break the cross, kill the pig, and abolish the jizya tax. Wealth will flow in such abundance that nobody will accept it, and a single prostration will be better than the world and whatever is in it." Sahih Muslim. Isa a.s. strategy against Yajooj and Majooj. Once Isa a.s. has defeated the forces of evil and established justice on earth, the next major challenge will be the tribes of Yajooj and Majooj. As the Hadith describes, these tribes will emerge in vast numbers and create havoc everywhere they go. However, the method of their defeat is tied to a miraculous event. After the release of Yajooj and Majooj, they will spread across the earth, drinking all the water in their path, killing those who stand in their way and wreaking havoc. The hadith further elaborates, they will drink all the water of the lake of Tiberias, Tiberias, and will reach a mountain where they will say, we have conquered the people of the earth. Sahih Muslim, they will be unstoppable by human forces, and their vast numbers will overwhelm anyone who tries to stop them. However, their reign of terror will not last forever. They will be defeated when Isa a.s. prays to Allah for help, and Allah will send an unprecedented punishment upon them. The Naghafan, the worms of destruction, the manner in which Yajooj and Majooj are defeated, is one of the most intriguing aspects of their story. According to the hadith, Naghafan, a type of worm or insect, will be sent by Allah to destroy them. These worms will attack the backs of their necks and rapidly spread through their bodies, leading to their swift and total annihilation. Abu Hurairah narrated that the Prophet Muhammad P.B. said, then Allah will send to them Yajooj and Majooj worms in the necks of all of them, and they will die. They will die just as one soul dies. As Sahih Muslim, the Naghafan will strike suddenly, swiftly, and without mercy, marking the end of the threat posed by Yajooj and Majooj. The divine intervention will be both a testimony to Allah's power and a mercy to the believers who will no longer suffer under their tyranny. The aftermath of their death, once Yajooj and Majooj are defeated, their bodies will be left to rot, causing great problems for the earth. The hadith explains that their bodies will decompose and fill the earth with an unbearable stench. It will be so overwhelming that believers will have to pray to Allah for relief. Isa a.s. will pray to Allah, and he will send birds with long necks to remove the bodies of Yajooj and Majooj, taking them far away. This event will mark the end of their devastation on earth. The hadith states, after their destruction, the believers will be able to enjoy peace and prosperity. Isa a.s. will continue to rule, and Allah will purify the earth. It will be a time of blessings and ease. Sahih Muslim, the final stages of the Day of Judgment after the defeat of Yajooj and Majooj, the earth will begin to recover from their devastating influence. Isa a.s. will continue to lead the believers in a time of peace and prosperity, and the final stages of the Day of Judgment will begin to unfold. Islamic scholars agree that the defeat of Yajooj and Majooj is one of the final events before the true Day of Judgment. After their defeat, the world will experience a period of peace where Isa a.s. will rule justly, and the earth will witness blessings and abundance. However, after this period, the ultimate Day of Judgment will arrive, and all of humanity will be judged for their deeds. The lesson for believers, the defeat of Yajooj and Majooj, serves as a powerful reminder of the power and mercy of Allah. Despite their immense strength, their eventual defeat will be achieved by the will of Allah, showing that no matter how powerful evil may seem, it is always subject to the will of the Creator. Believers are encouraged to stay steadfast in their faith, trust in Allah's divine plan, and prepare for the challenges that will come before the Day of Judgment. Who built the wall of Yajooj and Majooj? The wall that imprisons Yajooj and Majooj is one of the most fascinating aspects of their story. According to Islamic tradition, this great barrier was constructed by a powerful figure known as Dhul, Qarnayn. The story of the wall, its construction, and the reasoning behind it is mentioned in the Quran and various hadiths, and provides insight into how the believers in Allah's power can respond to evil and chaos. Let's explore the significance of this wall and the extraordinary person behind its creation, who was Dhul, Qarnayn. Before diving into the details of the wall itself, it's important to understand who Dhul, Qarnayn was. His name means the two-horned one, and while he is mentioned in the Quran, his full identity has been a topic of discussion among scholars and historians. Some believe he was a king, a conqueror, or even a prophet, though his exact identity is not conclusively known. Dhul, Qarnayn is mentioned in the Quran in Surah Al-Kahf 18:83-98, where his travels and conquests are described. He was a righteous ruler who traveled far and wide, building empires and helping people, all the while spreading justice and righteousness. Dhul, Qarnayn's journey takes him through many lands, and he encounters many nations along the way, some of whom were experiencing oppression or suffering. The wall's purpose, protecting the people. Dhul, Qarnayn's encounter with the people who sought his help against Yajooj and Majooj, takes place in a remote region between two mountain ranges, as described in the Quran, until when he reached between two mountains, he found in front of them a people who could hardly understand his language. Quran 18:93. The people who lived in this area were afraid of the destruction caused by Yajooj and Majooj. These two tribes had been wreaking havoc in the region, destroying crops, killing people, and causing widespread corruption. The people of this land pleaded with Dhul, Qarnayn, to help them build a barrier to protect themselves from the chaos that Yajooj and Majooj brought. They offered to pay him tribute in exchange for his assistance, but Dhul, Qarnayn, turned down their offer, stating that the resources given to him by Allah were far greater than any material wealth. Dhul, Qarnayn responded to their plea, saying, "What my Lord has provided for me is better, but assist me with strength, and I will build between you and them a barrier." Quran 18:95. This statement is significant as it highlights Dhul, Qarnayn's deep sense of humility and faith in Allah's provision, as he did not accept their tribute but instead focused on the task of helping them in a righteous manner. The construction of the wall. Once Dhul, Qarnayn agreed to help the people, he set to work constructing the wall. The process involved the use of iron and molten copper, as the Quran describes, "Bring me blocks of iron." Then, when he had filled up the gap between the two mountains, he ordered, "Blow," until when the iron became red hot, he said, "Bring me molten copper to pour over it." Quran 18:96. This verse paints a vivid picture of the construction process. Dhul, Qarnayn used large blocks of iron to fill the gap between the two mountains. Then, to strengthen the structure, he had the iron heated until it became red hot, after which molten copper was poured over it to create a barrier that would be impenetrable to Yajooj and Majooj. The barrier was designed to be so strong that no force, whether human or supernatural, could break through it. The Hadith explains that this barrier was so formidable that even Yajooj and Majooj, despite their great strength, were unable to scale it or tunnel through it. So they were unable to scale it or dig through it. Quran 18:97. Significance of the wall. The wall built by Dhul, Qarnayn, has a deep symbolic and practical significance. On one hand, it represents Allah's intervention in protecting people from destruction. Strength of the wall is a reminder of how Allah can use righteous individuals to fulfill His divine plan, protecting communities from forces of chaos and evil. On the other hand, the wall also represents the barrier between good and evil that will eventually be torn down at the end of times. The Quran and Hadith state that one day, Yajooj and Majooj will break free from this barrier, marking the beginning of the final stages of the world. But until that time comes, the wall remains a symbol of divine protection. The barrier is not just a physical wall, but also a metaphor for separation between the forces of corruption and those striving to live in peace and righteousness. The fact that this wall will eventually be destroyed shows that no matter how strong or secure a fortress might seem, it is ultimately subject to the will of Allah, and the final victory belongs to Him. Where is the wall today? The location of the wall built by Dhul, Qarnayn, has been a subject of much speculation. The Quran does not provide precise geographical details, but several theories have been proposed by scholars over time. Some believe the wall is located in the region of Caucasus Mountains near modern-day Azerbaijan, Armenia, and Georgia. Others suggest it could be located in Siberia, based on the description of the people living between two mountains in a remote area. While the exact location remains uncertain, one thing is clear: the wall remains intact, and the tribes of Yajooj and Majooj remain trapped behind it until the appointed time of their release, which will occur near the end of the world. Dhul, Qarnayn's wisdom and leadership. The construction of the wall also serves as a testament to the wisdom and leadership of Dhul. Qarnayn, despite his power and resources, he chose to build a physical barrier as a solution to the problem of Yajooj and Majooj. His decision reflects the importance of using available resources wisely to protect others from harm. His refusal to take the tribute from the people highlights his humility and devotion to serving Allah and the greater good, rather than his own personal gain. In the Quran, Dhul, Qarnayn's story is an example for all rulers and leaders on how to balance power with justice, and how to use one's influence to protect others, even if it means building something as monumental as a wall. Shield the innocent from destruction. A final note on the wall's role in the end times. The wall built by Dhul, Qarnayn will play a crucial role in the final days. While it currently keeps Yajooj and Majooj contained, its eventual destruction will signal the impending arrival of the Day of Judgment, as mentioned in Surah Al-Kahf 1897, and they were unable to scale it or dig through it. Dhul, Qarnayn said, "This is a mercy from my Lord, but when the promise of my Lord comes, he will level it down to the ground. And the promise of my Lord is ever true. When the time comes, the wall will crumble, and Yajooj and Majooj will be released to spread chaos and destruction across the earth. But it is important to remember that their release is part of Allah's divine plan, and their eventual defeat will be one of the final signs before the Day of Judgment. When will they emerge? The question of when Yajooj and Majooj will emerge from behind the wall is one of the most critical aspects of their story, especially in the context of the end of times. While we cannot know the exact date or time, Islamic teachings provide certain clues that help us understand when their release will occur and how it fits into the grand plan of Allah. The timing of their release according to Islamic traditions: Yajooj and Majooj will remain imprisoned behind the barrier until the approaching end of the world. Their release is one of the major signs of the impending Day of Judgment. This is mentioned in both Quran and the Hadith, giving us a clear understanding that their emergence will signal the start of the final stages of the world. The Quran states, "Until when Yajooj and Majooj are let loose, and they rush headlong down every hill." Quran 21:97. This verse shows that once the barrier is breached, Yajooj and Majooj will spread chaos across the earth, rushing in all directions with great speed and strength. The role of the Dajjal, another key event that happens around the same time as the emergence of Yajooj and Majooj, is the rise of the Dajjal, the Antichrist, who is another major figure. In Islamic eschatology, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, stated that the emergence of the Dajjal would occur just before the appearance of Yajooj and Majooj. The Dajjal is seen as a false Messiah who will lead many astray, spreading corruption and confusion. His arrival will be one of the last trials that humanity will face before the end of times. It is said that the Dajjal will be a test of faith, and those who follow him will be led into destruction, while those who resist will ultimately triumph in the afterlife. It is believed that Yajooj and Majooj will be released after the Dajjal's reign of terror, adding to the trials faced by humanity as the world edges closer to its final moments. What will happen after their release? Once Yajooj and Majooj are freed, they will cause widespread destruction and devastation. The Hadiths provide further insight into the chaos they will bring. It is said that they will not only kill humans, but will also destroy everything they encounter, even drinking up all the water on earth. One of the hadiths mentions that they will drink the waters of Buhaira Tabria, a large lake, leaving it completely dry. They will drink up every drop of water and kill every living thing in their path. Hadith, they will not stop at anything in their quest for destruction, and the people will have no choice but to hide in fortresses, in fortified cities to escape their wrath. This is when the true trial for humanity will begin, as the forces of evil will seemingly be unstoppable. The final battle and the death of Yajooj and Majooj. Despite the utter devastation that Yajooj and Majooj will cause, they will not remain a threat forever. According to Islamic tradition, Allah will send Nagafan, a type of worm, to destroy Yajooj and Majooj. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, described how these worms would kill every one of the tribe's members, ending their reign of terror. Allah will send Nagafan, a kind of worm, at the back of their necks, and they will die in large numbers. Hadith, this marks the end of their evil reign, and it will serve as one of the final signs before the day of judgment, when Allah will bring about His ultimate justice. The purpose behind their emergence, the emergence of Yajooj and Majooj, serves as a powerful reminder of Allah's sovereignty over all things. Even though they are mighty and appear unstoppable, their release and ultimate destruction are part of Allah's grand design. The events surrounding their emergence are meant to test the faith of the believers, challenge the forces of evil, and ultimately remind humanity of the fleeting nature of worldly power and the ultimate triumph of Allah's will. In the grand narrative of the end of times, the story of Yajooj and Majooj is a chilling reminder of the immense power that Allah holds over all things. From their imprisonment behind a wall built by the mighty Dhul, Qarnayn, to their eventual release, these two tribes will play a crucial role in the trials faced by humanity before the day of judgment. As we reflect on their story, we are reminded of the importance of remaining steadfast in our faith, of the fleeting nature of worldly power, and of the ultimate triumph of Allah's will over all forces of evil. So, what do you think about the story of Yajooj and Majooj? Are you ready for the signs of end times to unfold? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more insightful content on history, religion, and eschatology. As we await the final days, may we stay firm in our faith and trust in Allah's wisdom and mercy. Until next time, stay blessed and keep seeking knowledge.